Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And celebrating the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park, we have the second Transformer Jurassic Park crossover. This is JP-12, Autobot JP-12, and Dilophocon. First of all, thank you to Hasbro for naming the dinosaur shortly after the type of dinosaur. It's a Dilophosaurus, so it's Dilophocon. Really helps us out. This is, as of right now, an Amazon exclusive, but if it's anything like the previous Jurassic Park set, it will probably end up at other online retailers such as CommandStore.com and Big Bad Toy Store. Now, let me get this right out of the way real quick. This is a way better set than that first Jurassic Park set that featured, I think, the Range Rover, the that was based on Muldoon and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. First of all, I mean, there's the use of clear plastic. I'm not afraid of anything breaking. The joints on both figures are nice and tight. Both of them are new molds. Um, so that's kind of impressive. I know there's been some speculation, especially with the Dilophocan, uh, Dilophocon, what it's going to be retooled into. Uh, some are saying iguanas. I'm thinking maybe Alligator Megatron. All I got to do is really change the legs around a little. But then again, from that first Jurassic Park set, the Autobot, which was again based on the character Muldoon, was not hasn't been used yet. Now another thing that's interesting is JP-12 is obviously based on Nendry, and the Dilophocon is the Dilophosaurus. Now, if you've seen the movie, you know what happens with Nendry and the Dilophosaurus. I'm kind of curious now why the Autobot based on Muldoon was not packaged with a repaint with a new head of uh, Beast Wars Dinobot from Kingdom, since Muldoon had a scene with raptors. And I don't want to get in trouble for spoiling a film, but you both know what happened there. So without further ado, we're going to pause real quick and we're going to start off looking at Autobot JP-12. Okay, so Autobot JP-12, I think I'm just going to refer to as Nendry from here on out, is a licensed Jeep. We'll get more into that at the end. And all the accessories that the figure comes with is here on the vehicle mode, which I really nice. This winch right here will become a gun in robot mode. Of course, they had to include the Barbasol cannon, which I'm going to remove real quick, clips in right there. And obviously, they couldn't get the Barbasol license, or they didn't want to because they were already paying for Jeep and Jurassic Park and Mattel. So it's just got that red, white, and blue striping with an Autobot logo. And since if you remember how the can worked, um, instead of having that little bit of the mosquito and the amber, it's some sort of little energon shiv or what have you. But we'll just put that back in there. So we'll put that off to the side. And even though it comes packaged separately, you can see right there the helmet that Nedry wore. We'll get into more into that in robot mode. Other than that, the vehicle mode is quite nice. The wheels roll. They're not rubber, but this is a really nice vehicle mode. And unfortunately, it is very small. And I think that's going to be a complaint of the set is that in terms of the price, the size of the figures are just too small. The Lothicon I can kind of understand, but for something like this, it's a bit of an oversight, especially when if you look at what Mattel is doing with their Jeeps, um, they can fit 3 3/4 inch figures. Didn't say this had to fit 3 3/4 inch figures, but it would have been nice for it to be a little bit bigger, just to have it on display with your Mattel Jurassic Park toys. Get into the transformation? No, it's actually not that bad. First thing you want to do is come in underneath and just straighten the arms out. There are tabs here. They do peg into that section right there. Kind of holds it in place. Also on mine, the feet, excuse me, the fifths were rotated You notice how the knuckles and thumb is facing down. When I first got it, it was facing up. You want them to be facing down like that. And also, should you when you remove this from the packaging, if the arms get dislodged, they just fold up as you saw, like that. So just do it like that. Pop open the doors here on the side, and then what you want to do is bring up this whole rear section, just like so, and you can sort of see through the windows. There are seats. What's really cool is as you're going to rotate this forward, the seats are going to fold down. You're going to think that this is a little, there you go. And that's actually a nice little touch. Uh, don't worry about, you're going to have to use a little force because the hinges there are kind of tight. But once that's done, fold this back panel up. I don't know if you can see, but there's a tab right where my finger is that's going to peg into a slot there. That'll snap into place. Once that's done, just let everything just hang out right now. We're going to focus on the back of the vehicle. Separate the rear section here, come inside, flip open these panels, just like so, and then proceed to flip what will be the robot legs around, just like that. Turn the, oh, actually, no, leave it up like that. And now what you're going to do is fold out this back section all the way so it's a double hinge, and that will form the feet. And when going back into vehicle mode, there was a tab there. There was a slot. Uh, let's see where the slot lines up. Right there on the side. So that will come in just like that. And that when you fold this over, there's a tab there at the top that pegs into the back of the that dome area. So just flip those feet out, and then you're going to close up these panels here. Tab, slot on the inside of the leg. Doesn't really peg in, just slides in, kind of holds it into place. And if it hasn't come down just through the natural currents of events, flip down the crotch plate. And now what you kind of want to do is bring the arms out ever so slightly on that hinge right there. Just bring them out and down. That'll free up some space you're going to need in a second. Next, what you want to do, and this is actually a really cool part to the transformation. Flip the wheels up. They will stop in friction into place, just like that. And then you're going to rotate them inward. And it will snap into place right there. They snap coming back out and snap going in. With that being done, bring the torso down. Make sure you have enough clearance here in the back that the tabs don't get into the way. Fold it down and over. Let me see if I got everything. Oh, it's getting stuck on something. I think Nedry's hat might have loosened up a little. Make sure those arms aren't in the way, and just keep. Oh, there we go. All righty. Yep. And then as you fold it down, there's a tab on the inside by the front wheels that will go into the gray slot there in the chest. With that being done, you can, this back section will peg into, there are two tabs, there are slots right there. So bring that up, fold this red panel down, bring this panel back to give you some space. You can go ahead and rotate the head around. Hello, Newman. And then what you're going to do is, first, what you want to do is flip up these side panels here on the wheel wells. There's a slot right there that, if you can see, there's a tab on the arm joint. That's going to peg into place as you bring the arm down on the double joint there. So just peg that in, rotate the fist forward, and make sure you just rotate the fist, not the whole arm. And yeah, there we have JP-12, otherwise known as Nedry or Newman. Now, in the packaging, the helmet is separate, but as you saw here, it can store in the vehicle mode. Now, real quick, here's the shaving cream can. Can't hold it, obviously. But also, what's nice is there is a hole here on the back of the door. You can peg it in right there. And if you so desire, you can then, of course, remove the weapon. It does peg in quite nicely, just like that. And you have a little blaster gun. And it is blaster effect compatible. But as you can see, if it was small in vehicle mode, it's really small in robot mode. Let's come take a look at the head here. Um, Obviously, a robotic visage of Wayne Knight. Uh, I heard some people are actually going to repaint this, give it the USPS postal pith hat, paint this as in USPS colors, and you're going to have a Newman transformer from Seinfeld. But you do have that, really nice. One little thing I do that does bother me a bit about this character and this figure, Nedry wasn't exactly a good guy, so I think it's a little odd that this is being advertised as a Autobot. But in terms of articulation, just make sure you get everything pegged in up there. Yeah, like the arms really don't peg in well. They kind of just sit there. Um, just it also since this is on a that post here with the wheel well, but the head is on a ball joint, can rotate. Just be careful, you might take the hat off. Ball joint here at the hips. Actually, I'm sorry, it's a universal joint. Deep knee bend. You do have some ankle pivot, and you do have that articulation from the transformation joint. Bicep swivel, 90-degree bend at the elbow, wrist articulation. Nothing in the hips, but that's due to the transformation. And I got to say, the backpack does clean up a little nicely. I mean, although some of you will have a problem with the scabbing. In all honesty, I was not expecting a lot from this figure, but this delivers a lot. And I was going to say this was the best figure of the set until I handled Dilophocon, and let me tell you, that figure's incredible. So, how about let me just do something real quick, and then we'll take a look at Dilophocon. Like I was starting to say, the JP-12 figure is a fantastic transformer. There's a lot of interesting little bits going on with how the legs transform, uh, the arms come together and come up. It really seems like there's a lot of love put into this figure. And it really stands out from that first Jurassic Park set. I'm actually kind of curious to see, are they going to go ahead and use this figure going forward in the mold, I should say, in the mainline generations line. That'll be interesting to see. But other than that, let's take a look at the Dilophocon. Okay, so here is the Dilophocon, and let me just say it right up front. Hasbro came to play and hit hard with this figure. This is a fantastic Beast Wars figure. This is the kind of Beast War figure that I this is the kind of Beast Wars figure that I like. It does have somewhat real robot limbs. It has a symmetrical look to it. Um, and it's just awesome all around. And much like JP-12, Nedry, all the accessories for this figure are right here. I mean, Hasbro was smart enough. They included a blast effect. It fits right here in the mouth. It's that spitting. Uh, I like how it tapers from clear to the painted parts to it. Now, as you can see, obviously the mouth opens, and you would think you would just use your finger. Nope. A lever here on the back of the head that Hasbro put in, open and close the mouth. They didn't have to do that. They did it. That is really cool. Other than that, the arms here are just on simple little hinges and swivels. The legs, they do have some posability, but you do run the risk of knocking the joint loose, unpegging them. They do, again, much like with JP-12, when you take this out of the packaging, if you do dislodge the legs a little, there are slots here on the inside of the leg that will sit on tabs on the robot mode arm. It doesn't really peg in, but once you have it sitting right, it does kind of complete that beast mode look. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the transformation. You want to go ahead and close the dinosaur mouth if you haven't. Next, what you want to do is you want to separate the tops and bottom here, just bring that down like this. And you want to angle the fins here. And this is my one complaint, the fins are not pegged in. And you want to rotate it down and then back like that. So it's going to sit like that. And while you have this panel up, go ahead and flip up the robot head just like so. And next, what you want to do is we're going to come down and work on the legs. So go ahead and separate them like I showed you a minute ago. Unpeg these thigh pieces, and then we're just going to straighten the leg out. And then these thigh pieces are going to become shin pieces, just like that as you straighten the leg out. And you want to make sure they do slide in completely and sit flush against the leg. They do just peg in like that. And then what you can do is come in, unpeg the arms. They do tab into a section right there in the waist crotch area, and then open up just like so. And while you're doing that, flip up this the tail section, and then we're going to fold this chest piece down and just collapse everything up and in. Um, and I think just through the nature of, oop, knocked off one of the fins there, but you'll close up this section here, and there's some tabs and slots, and that'll just close it up like that. So just come back and peg that back into place. And in the category of they really didn't have to do this, fold up this tail section. There's a slot right here in the tip of the tail that's going to, oop, yeah, like I said, I really wish these fins were pegged in. And before you close up the back, make sure you have the tail rotated up on that secondary hinge, because what you're going to do is it should, there we go, just tap into place like that. So, and here is Dilophocon in its robot mode. Now, the instructions show leaving the dinosaur arms up. You can, of course, if you so desire, rotate them down, but I think they look fine like that. And yeah, this is a great looking figure. Ball joint shoulders, ball joint at the elbows, ball joint at the head. You can even, if you want, flip up the dinosaur head. That back down. Uh, Universal joint at the hip. You do have a swivel, 90-degree bend at the knee. But wait, there's more. And the reason why I said they didn't have to put that peg and slot in, untab the tail, wiggle jiggle this whole section off while hitting the back of the head. put the figure off. Oh, and you got the ankle. You do actually even have ankle pivot. There's a ball joint in the ankle there. So check this out. Pops open, flips out, just like iguanas, just like alligator Megatron. The tail becomes a weapon, and there's a hole right there, post right there. Boom! You can use the blast effect, and here you go. And you know what's nice is, I mean, unfortunately, you don't have waist articulation, but my God, there's a plenty of joints you can work here. You can really get some action going. I think a lot of people who are gonna like pass on this set um, are really gonna sleep on this figure. This is fantastic. I mean, if you use the transformation joint, look at this. You can do like some across the body shots. I mean, that's just wow. I mean, you really do have some great articulation here, and it's just a fun figure. Really happy to have this set. So I think that's about all I can say for the Dilophocon. So let's go to my sub final thoughts, and then we'll finish the review. I think most people are going to be surprised by Dilophocon. This is a fantastic figure. Again, I keep saying that, but it really is. And I'm looking forward to see how it's going to be used going forward in the main line, if it does. If this doesn't get retooled into another character like Iguanus or Alligator Megatron, that'll be a shame. And even if it's just repainted and re-released as somebody else, that's fine. Because I really hate it when great molds like this are locked behind the exclusivity paywall. You know, it really is like this entire set is just top notch, top to bottom. For my final thoughts, I had to bring this out. Once you remove the plain cardboard that the figures are actually packaged in, as well as the small crate that holds the accessories, you are left with this perfect, untouched diorama backdrop. As many people have speculated, I will agree with. This set was originally meant to have an open window front and to be put on display like the first Jurassic Park set. But unfortunately, it got caught up in in Hasbro's whole "let's save the environment" bull crap, and the window box was changed, but they had already designed the diorama, so they had to include it. Now, frankly, I think in some parts that might have worked out because you don't have the holes that with all the ties and stuff in. But really, this just looks fantastic and stands out. Overall, this is a fantastic set. But I do have two issues that have to be addressed. Number one, the price. This set is over $85. And having looked at the figures, this leads into my second issue. They are entirely too small for that price. Now, let's break it down. You have the Mattel license, you have the Jurassic Park license, and you have the Jeep license. Those are three licenses that Hasbro has to pass the cost on to us. With that said, I still think it's entirely too high. Some people are saying that this should be a $40 set. And frankly, I don't I don't see that. I don't see any way this could have been sold for $40. Now, if you want to say $60, I think at $60, this would have been a steal with the quality of the figures in them and just the overall fun. I mean, you have a Wayne Knight transforming robot. that you have Newman. Now, let me also say that I have heard from quite a few people that since the first Jurassic Park set went on such deep discount and clearance, they're waiting to buy this set until it hits such levels of clearance. Well, let me just say that and give you some food for thought. Number one, when reviewers like me get these reviews out and people wake up to how good the figures are, they might jump on them. Number two, Hasbro did announce earlier in the year that they would be lowering the production numbers of some on their figures so they don't get stuck with stock and retailers don't have to get stuck with stock that in turn get clearance because that and everybody loses money. Um, and number three, and this is a small thing, as I've mentioned, you there are Seinfeld fans. Now, I don't know if Seinfeld fans are the type of collectors who buy crap. I know there's a Lego set. I know there's Funko Pops. I don't know if those are selling to Seinfeld fans or they're selling to Lego fans and Funko Pop fans who happen to be Seinfeld fans. There is a difference. But they might jump on getting a Wayne Knight figure that they can either customize or pay someone to customize into a Newman figure for their collections, which would be quite the novelty. And, Hasbro, if you're listening, maybe talk to Wayne Knight, talk to the Jerry Seinfeld, maybe work something out that you could just repaint this as Newman yourself. I'd buy it again as a Newman figure. Um, so with those points, maybe it may not be the best idea to wait for clearance. If you have gift cards, I've said it before over the years. There are survey sites, there are reward sites that can give you cash back and I'm sorry, not cash back, well, cash back, points on your purchases, points for completing surveys that you can earn Amazon gift cards that if you have enough can take the edge off of the cost of this set. Um, but then, I mean, ultimately that decision is up to you. But I will agree that at over $85, this set is overpriced. But I am glad I have it. I do think the figures are fantastic. I think Dilophocon just edges out JP-12, but both are wonderful. And I mean, if you were looking to just uh, piece the set out by one over the other, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. Um, as I said in the beginning, this set is exclusive to Amazon right now. That might change as time goes on. If it does, that might benefit you. It might not, because when you go to the independent retailers like Command Store and Big Bad Toy Store, the price actually might go up even more since they're having to buy it from somebody else. But that's about it for the review. If you like this review, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions. And I'm going to be honest, I don't always like and comment on videos that I watch because I watch them on television. It's kind of difficult to have to go back and like. And I hate commenting if I don't have something to say. So I don't want you to feel pressured. If you don't have a question or a comment or an answer to something I said, don't feel pressured into commenting. You don't have to do anything. I'd rather you not say anything than just say hi or something simple. I really want the comments in my videos to be like an old timey salon where there's an exchange of ideas. But they do help with the algorithms, which is especially important nowadays. As is the next part, share my videos around. If you like my videos and think your friends will like them, share it with them. Share them in your Facebook groups. Chances are I'm already part of them and I'm already doing that, but share them on the websites that you like to frequent. Submit them as news because right now, myself and other reviewers are having to compete with the guys who are getting the stolen um, toys off of the factory lines from Vietnam. Now, of course, a lot of the reviewers who are around today, 10, 15 years ago, that's how they started out with Revenge of the Fallen figures and animated toys. And they freely have admitted it was different times then. And, they've stopped short of saying that they wouldn't do it again. But the difference being is they are fans, they were fans. A lot of the people who are doing these early reviews now, and we're talking like 3, 4, almost 6, in some cases 6 months before the toys hit the shelf, they're doing it strictly for the attention and to make some cash. And what ends up happening is the people who watch those videos, that's it. They watch just that one review and don't wait for the other reviewers to get their figures legally down the line, which is a shame because, in my opinion, and something that I do personally, I like to see a couple different reviews of a figure. I'm going to watch reviews of this set just because I want to know what people think. Optibotimus, my pal, he's a huge Jurassic Park fan. I want to hear him talk about it because I'm sure he'll have some insight and details that I don't have. Having just seen the film a couple times and him having seen it a couple dozen times, and that'll bring out a new level of enjoyment. But that's my point. Always try to get as much information as you can. But I think I've rambled on a little bit too long. You guys know about my Patreon. Please, nobody's there. Nobody signed up for it now. So, um, but if you can, dollar a month, $12 a year. Link in the description below. Once again, this is your old pal Chuck, Dilophocon, and Autobot JP-12, Jurassic Park. Welcome to Jurassic Park. We will see you next time.